Hello, and welcome to the third edition of our Champions of Safety webinar, Stories from Golf Clubs Using Obbi Golf. I'm Ryan Bell, Senior Sales Manager at Obbi Golf, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Mark Fry, Course Manager at Teignmouth Golf Club in sunny South Devon. We'll be exploring Mark's experiences using Obbi Golf safety compliance and training software. And for those new to Obbi Golf, our platform streamlines safety, compliance and training for golf clubs by seamlessly integrating all departments at the touch of a button. We empower teams to manage their obligations efficiently, from training to safety checks and also document updates. With endorsements for the insurance industry and safety stakeholders, we provide credibility and assurance to clubs, ensuring they are in safe hands. So, Mark, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you keeping? Are you keeping well today?
Yeah, very well. Thank you very much. It's nice to see the sunshine out there at the minute. It's been pretty miserable the last few weeks, so you picked the right day to catch me.
Well, I keep saying to you that you've got it a lot better in Devon than we have in Northern Ireland. It hasn't stopped raining for about 12 months, so but we're glad to see the sunshine. So, first question, Mark, is tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into the golf industry and specifically greenkeeping.
Okay. Basically, I was a junior at Teignmouth Golf Club, and I got into golf by my grandparents, and I just loved the game. Then I sort of wanted a career out of it, and I decided to go into greenkeeping. And just a golf course a few miles away from here called Woodby Park. And I started there roughly about 31 years ago. And Nigel Mansell owned the golf course at the time, and he made some fantastic improvement during his time there. And I certainly got the love of greenkeeping from the start, really, and I really enjoyed it. And I wanted to expand my experience, and I decided to go on a scholarship program to America. And I was lucky enough to work at two fantastic, very high-end golf club, Midland Hills, and probably a bigger club called Baltimore Golf Club, which hold the USGA Championship Golf Tournament. And that was an experience to work in that. So very, very good. And then when I did my time there, I did 2 years over there. I came back over to England, and obviously moved from sunny Devon, as you said, up to Surrey. And one of my first role in was a greenkeeper at Teignmouth Golf Club, a very, very exclusive high-end golf club, a bit like Baltimore. And again, I learned a lot from them. And then really, I ended up at Wolverton Golf Club as a deputy of my first management role, sorry. And I did 8 years there, and I just loved it there. Still very good friends with a lot of people from Wolverton. And then from there, I went up as a course manager at Whittington Heath. It's in the Midlands, and they were having HS2 going right through the middle of the golf course. And I was overseeing all the new construction. We had 6 new holes, load of alterations on the existing course, and a brand new irrigation system. And also because of the train track HS2, we had to implement some mitigation area on in between the new holes. And yes, and I just oversee that being done too. That golf club, we're very lucky. We had everything given to us by HS2. We had a brand new clubhouse, brand new practice facility, and some new holes in, they're very fortunate for the club to be in. Well, once I'd finished all that, I've always wanted to come back down to Devon because that's where I'm originally from. My family are all here. I've got a young boy, and I wanted him to grow up with family. So there was an opportunity at Teignmouth about 18 months ago, and obviously I applied for it, and I'm very fortunate to be the course manager at Teignmouth now, and this is where I am.
have to say that's quite a level of experience, Mark. You've worked in some absolutely outstanding golf clubs, sort of all around the world, and obviously that's put you in good stead. And in terms of Teignmouth, membership size, staff, and history. I mean, what can you tell us about Teignmouth Golf Club?
Yeah, Teignmouth is a small little club. When I say small, we do have the membership size is around about 750, but that's all sorts of category. We've got about 500 um, playing members, that's 7 day members, and the rest are in different category, juniors, ladies, social members, and so on. We've got around about for the whole clubhouse office and green staff, we've got around about 25 staff, some full-time, some casual, some 0 hours. For my team, I've only got a team of 6. That includes me and my mechanic. So we do have a fairly small team compared to what I've used to in the past. But we're getting on really well. We're making some great changes, and the members are seeing that, so that's all good news, This golf club was founded in 1924, so next year, 2024, that's our centenary year. So we've got some good things coming up for the members, and we've got a couple of big events also at Teignmouth Golf Club, which we're gonna, to see out. We've got the county championship, and we've got the England championship, so the under 18 boys championship. So they're two big things that can happen for Teignmouth, and the club are very supportive of that, and we're looking forward to hosting it.
Yeah, I mean, from speaking to Martin, the general manager at Teignmouth, I mean, it seems like a really great community at the club. And from the work you're doing on the course, I'm sure the members are very, very happy. And I know members aren't always the easiest people to please when it comes to the course. But in terms of Obbi Golf, how long have you been using Obbi Golf now, and how would you describe the experience overall at this point?
Okay, we just started Obbi Golf when I joined Teignmouth, so that was just over 18 months ago. But me using it properly is probably just over a year now, So we find it absolutely fantastic, taking away all the paperwork, everything electronically. It's all stored up in the system, up in the cloud, as people say, and it's we can get onto it easy, accessible, and we can update any document, anything that we need to store. We all carry our phone. What I like about it the most is that we all carry our phone, the pre-start checks and the machinery mechanic servicing. It's all recorded electronically. So it's a massive, great tool to have. No paper, no picking up clipboard in it, and just yeah, we've really find it fantastic, and all my team find it really good and really easy to use too. I mean, for me as a manager, I think all the health and safety is on there as well. I can upload all my documents. It's all safe, secure, and it's just fantastic for my team, specifically for my department. The training for that you have in Obbi Golf, it's all on the software, and it's fantastic. We just follow the video, and it's very generic, but it just great because all my guys pick out a few things as each video they go, each task they do, and it's been just a fantastic tool to have. All my team have their own login on detail too, so they can record its self-development. They can see how far they're progressing. We're just going bit by bit, one step at a time, and it's just, yeah, I recommend it. It's a really good tool to have.
Fantastic. And in terms of, I mean, one of the questions I get asked quite a lot, Mark, is about the onboarding experience. Could you tell us a little about the onboarding experience with Obbi and how it was to get up and set up and started? Because that is a question that comes up quite a lot.
Yeah, it's a complete different tool for me. I've never used something like this before, and my team never had anything electronically. It normally, all paperwork, but it was a little bit of slow burner for some people. but some people picked it up quite quickly. Um, um, we once we use it, the more time we use it, the better and easier it would for my team. So it's a once we've got used to it, it's quite a straightforward and very helpful tool. And yeah, but I will say, Obbi Golf, because it was a slight slow burner to start with. Martha, she was fantastic to lean on, and she helped us through. She got us going one step at a time, not too fast, not too slow. And she was fantastic, to get us to where we are today.
Excellent. No, I think Marta would be delighted to hear that. So thank you for saying that. Have you noticed any significant changes in safety and compliance practices within the greenkeeping team since implementing Obbi Golf? Any ones that you could highlight that you can think of specifically?
Yes, when we were reviewing the training videos, some of my guide picked up some, it's like a refresher course, kind of. My guide picked up some safety concerns that they never really thought of, and then they were able to take it out onto how to start or operate the machinery, and just basically they just use their knowledge a little bit more, by watching the video and having less concern maybe when they went out on the golf course or operating a machine. And I will say that some of the bad habits were maybe picked up on as well, and yeah, just a good little refresher tool, definitely.
Excellent, yeah, and I've obviously heard quite a few horror stories over the last, 2.5 years around things that can happen in the greenkeeping department. So if any bad habits can be reduced, that's obviously great for the safety of your staff. And in terms of maybe how Obbi Golf has helped you save time or money in any way, is there anything that you've noticed that maybe would lead to the fact that there may have been potential time or saving costs?
Yeah, definitely. Time saving is just on one simple task would say doing the pre-start check, because everyone, like I said, everyone carries a phone, and when they just walk up, when they know what machine they're using or what task they're doing, they just walk up to the machine, having a QR code on every single machine that we have, and they just got a QR reader on their phone, and they just scanned the code and then popped up the pre-start check sheet, so they know exactly what to do, and then walk around the machine, do all the necessary check. And once they've done, I love the way it's all been recorded, the time, the date, who did it, and that record, fantastic. Rather than getting a clipboard and then going around it and then putting the clipboard back away, and difficult in our environment to keep it all clean too. And if we're checking it outside, it doesn't get wet. They just take a do it all on their phone, and then it's quick and easy, all done and dusted, and straight back out on the golf course. That's a massive time saving. Just and the same for my mechanic. He got a QR code for the each machine, so he knows what he had to do for servicing, and he can just tick all the boxes what he'd done, and it's just all good record keeping. And for me, that's just a massive time saving, and I just think it's the way forward.
Right, thank you very much. No, that's very, very comprehensive. I appreciate that. And in terms of, feedback from the staff, because another question I get asked quite a lot, Mark, is, how do heads of departments engage their staff into using a software like Obbi Golf? So in terms of feedback from your staff, how are they finding the improved safety and compliance measures?
Um, Mainly the pre-start check from and the mechanic servicing record from my staff. They absolutely, once they got used to it, once they understand it, we working with Martha. She made a few amendments to suit our team, and once we've done that, the feedback from my team is much easier, more productive, easier to use, and just so much enjoyable to use. And it's only a quick 5 minutes checking each machine, ticking the boxes, signing it off, and it's just a lot easier. And that's we all like easier life. The feedback from my team, they loved it. So it's a lot easier. So anything that we can do to make life easy is a benefit for everyone.
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing is that sometimes staff will learn at different levels, but as you described there, once everybody got on board and realized that it was going to save them time, then everybody's on the same page. And in your opinion, how's Obbi Golf help position Teignmouth Golf Club in terms of leading the way in safety and compliance? Have you noticed that maybe standing them in good stead in the area in terms of using software?
Yeah, I mean, Obbi Golf for Teignmouth is like I said earlier, the training video. When we picked a rainy day for this kind of work, I mean, it's not much we can do on a golf course, without devastating the course. We picked those days to do the training, and when we all sit together, we go after all the lists that you got on your software system, and the training, the record keeping of all, they all, like I said, they got their own login details. They all then are following the rules and regulations, and they're all up to their training, so there's no complication. So for Teignmouth, it's to have all that on record. It saved me and the club finding external training elsewhere. Obviously, like chainsaw work, we'll do that somewhere else. Um, but for the basics, for the generic sort of thing, yeah, Obbi Golf has helped us massively, and definitely stopped us from looking at different companies all under one umbrella.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely the important thing is to keep it all. If we can keep it all within one software that covers the entire club. I mean, you're the first greenkeeper that we've had on this series, Mark, and we've had general managers on, we've had maintenance managers. So to hear from a greenkeeper, it obviously is a whole club solution. And what would you say? I get asked, people want to hear from the people using it. You can hear from me all day long, but they want to hear from people using it. And what would you say to clubs, who aren't using Obbi Golf at the minute? What would you say would be the big things that you would take away from it?
Well, mate, if I have recommended it to other clubs before, and I've explained how easy it is once you get to understand it and what advantage it has on time saving. And I've been very highly on the QR code business and explaining that too. Um, Also explaining the training that you guys got on the software, and us, for me, especially other managers, are able to store all the risk assessment in the system. It's just a massive plus for me to have everything in one location, easy accessible. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to any, I would recommend it to any club that's not using it. And also at Teignmouth, we're trying to go paper free. This is the software where we will go paper free, so that's what I highly recommend.
Absolutely, sustainability is very important to golf clubs at the minute. So, and again, from conversations that I've had with clubs in the past, that they maybe have some things on shared drives, some things on paper, etc. And we want to try and make sure that it's all in one place and all accessible. And in terms of Teignmouth Golf Club, what's next for Teignmouth, Marcus? You've obviously got your centenary coming up, but what's the golf club looking to do going forward? Are you looking to progress things?
Absolutely. Tim is one of the agenda is to progress and to progress as a business, as a community, as a team. And we're always finding ways to see where we can save time and money, so that our staff, our members, our guests can have a much more enjoyable experience at Teignmouth. So they're constantly looking for way to make life easier for everybody, improve things, and just keep developing on and off the golf course at the same time. And like you said, we do have a centenary, so this will be, with the two big golf clubs that competitions that we got that will, broadcast to the rest of the counties, and hopefully will be recognised in the future too. So we're always looking way to progress, to improve, to make life easier.
Excellent. I mean, I know, as I said, from speaking to Martin originally, that Teignmouth is very forward thinking when it comes to moving things in the right direction across a variety of sectors. Look, Mark, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for your contributions. At this point, if anyone wants to use the chat facility to put in any questions, if you have a question either for myself or Mark, I'd be happy to share it at this point. So please feel free to put any questions in the chat if you do. We'll leave it open for a couple of minutes. I think it's important to stress that as we do these Champions of Safety webinars, we're always looking to talk to all the departments in a golf club. It has been very common in the past at golf clubs that a lot of the pressure, a lot of the document and record keeping has fallen in the lap of the general manager. And what we want to do is, from the example that Mark's has given us today, is that we want to empower staff to be able to take ownership of the safety, compliance, and training for the team under them, so that they feel that they're on top of it at all times. And that's what we're looking to achieve. If we don't have any questions, it doesn't look like there's anyone has any specific questions. So that means, Mark, you must have answered absolutely everything that anyone could have possibly. Oh, we've got one. Do you feel that using Obbi has helped shift focus towards a safer culture within your team?
Sorry, what was that? What was
Do you feel that using Obbi Golf has helped shift the focus towards a safety culture within your team?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when we did watch the video, there's a lot of things that highlight my team, and they definitely changed the practice, and I do feel that there's a change in the culture as well. So yeah, I think Obbi Golf is the big part to play in that, and we still, there's always tough to do on Obbi Golf, update things, and as my team have got access to it. I give them the responsibility to do things themselves also. So I do think everyone's becoming a lot more safely concerned in their everyday job.
Absolutely. Thank you for that answer. I've got a question from Adrian. And Adrian has asked the following. Question to me: how does Obbi Golf compare to the ground to control system? You familiar with ground to control, Mark, as a system?
I haven't experienced it, but I know of it, and I've seen it, and I know people that have used it. I think ground control is a good tool. I'm not knocking it at all, but it's specifically for groundkeeping. Whereas I know my general manager won't mind me saying this, but they're able to use it throughout the whole club, and so everything, like I said, under one umbrella. That's a key factor for the club. Having different description for one software for the groundkeeping department and another software for the clubhouse department, it probably might be more of a headache.
I think that's a great description. I mean, obviously, I can't speak specifically about another software, but what I would say, Adrian, is even when I was speaking to a club recently who was using Turfkeeper, and I know that Mark would be familiar with Turfkeeper as well, is they are very agronomy focused, stock management, spraying, etc., etc. They don't really have a massive amount with safety and compliance, and it's maybe not a software that's used for, say, the food and beverage to do their safety checks or to manage their training, or the clubhouse to do all those sort of things. So what we aim with Obbi Golf is that it is a software that is used across every department, can be streamlined to make sure that every department is using the same software and has the access to the same content. I think, if you're looking for a stock management tool or something along those lines, then obviously you'd look for something more specific. But if you want something that is throughout the club, I think Obbi is definitely in my opinion, obviously I'm biased, but is the best solution on the market. I'm going to answer a question next from Cormac. Hi, Ryan. Is the Obbi system based on a template for all clubs, i.e. the same in the UK and Ireland? Is it a one size fits all, or can it be customized to comply with individual facilities and any laws that there may be different? So the content that we have in the system it does not have any specific legislation in it. It's not the documentation that we have isn't under any specific jurisdiction. So it is training content that can be used throughout the UK and Ireland. So it certainly fits everybody. So it works for the UK and Ireland. We have say over 35 clubs in Ireland. We have around the same, maybe a little bit more in the UK mainland. The customization within the software, Cormac, the software is built to fit your needs, obviously, in terms of what is in the software. So if you have different safety checks to say what Mark would have at Teignmouth, obviously the software will be customized accordingly. You may have different machinery or different needs in your greenkeeping team or your food and beverage team that Teignmouth might have. Again, you can select from the content that you wish to have that is part of the system. I'm going to answer one from your GM, Mark. Ryan, Ryan, do you want me to offer how it operates in the club as well? Yes, absolutely. So just to let everybody know, Martin is the general manager at Teignmouth, and I'm going to unmute you, Martin, so you can have a chat with us. Let's see.
Hello.
Okay, Martin, you're good to go.
Yeah, I just thought I'd add to help perhaps other managers as well understand. Obviously, Mark's embraced this fully, but and the team are benefiting from it as he's explained. Ultimately, the rest of the team that work, whether it be kitchen, whether it be front of house team, whether it be pro shop, and the office, the templates are all able to cross-pollinate, if that's the right word to use. And you can adapt them. Marta will adapt them as well if you have something that you're very specific with in your own club, or it's dear to yourself how you want something to operate. Marta will do that as well. One specific, for instance, front of house team, similar to what Mark does with his checking the machines in the morning or when they're put away at night. We operate in the front of the house team opening and closing checks, and we use Obbi Golf for that with the QR codes in their phones as well. Similarly, in the kitchen, we operate QR codes with regards to freezer temperature checks, fridge stuff, health and safety stuff that we need to apply to. So we just use a QR checks there as well. We give them a tablet and they operate all that food and hygiene stuff as well, which is as important as what Mark does. So it was a slow burn. There's no doubt about that. Mark has already said that, but perseverance and it becomes, a lifeblood for yourself. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for that, Martin. I think you're right. I mean, I think I would like to think that I'm fairly honest with any general manager that I speak to, when I show them the software, is that it's very hard to expect your staff to completely change their safety culture overnight, especially if that culture has been based around pen and paper, or particularly maybe focused around the general manager doing a great deal of the work. So it is always going to take time for people to change, and adapting to change isn't always somebody's most fun scenario. However, I think any of us as human beings, if we are showed something that can make our lives easier and streamline the processes that we go through in our daily job, then all of a sudden that change will be worthwhile. And as a result, it will be embraced, and then it becomes, part of your everyday life. It's something I batter on about a lot. Is everybody knows that my background prior to Obbi Golf was many, many years in T-sheet management, and I would say that most of the clubs that are on this call today have a digital T-sheet, and that digital T-sheet is the lifeblood of understanding who's on your course, your revenue, your T utilization, your group size, all the things that helps you build revenue at the club. And early in the 2000s, people didn't embrace T-sheets. They didn't believe that there was any need for them. And nowadays, it becomes second nature. And what we're starting to see with Obbi Golf is that the clubs that are using it and using it well are starting to see a total different culture shift in the way they manage safety and compliance. And now, if your greenkeeper does decide that they're moving on to another club, or your caterer or the general manager, whoever comes in behind you will be able to pick up the system and seamlessly understand what's going on before them. And if they want to make alterations, they can obviously do that, and they can liaise with their account manager at Obbi and say, look, I want to put some new checklists in place, etc. But more importantly, they'll know what has gone on both before them and then now that they're there. So yes, I mean, I am delighted. Martin, thank you for your contribution. Mark, anything you want to add just before we wrap it up today?
No. I think we said what we need to say. Thank you for inviting me. you know, I wasn't lying. I was a bit nervous to start with, but I enjoyed talking to you about it. And you know, I'll just say Obbi Golf is a great tool to use, and we'll continue to use it, and hopefully people will follow. You know.
Excellent. Well, look, we're delighted that you joined. I'm also delighted that so many people have joined the call as well. I see some great names, some very, very familiar names, and clubs we're both working with and clubs we'd love to work with. So anyone who'd like to reach out to me afterwards, please feel free to drop me an email. I know everyone has my email that's on the call today. Mark, once again, thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to continue working with you for the next couple of years. And everyone, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the next series. Take care.